Get ready to see how I made this adorable Christmas sign, this jaw-dropping wreath that you will not believe was made with Dollar Tree products, plus my favorite DIY treat of all time, and a delicious meal from EveryPlate. Welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. Hi guys, it's Aneka and welcome to my channel, Craft, Eat, Repeat. So today I have two Christmas DIYs that I cannot wait to show you. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Everyone, hit that notification bell so you'll be ready when my next video comes out. And when it's over, head down to the comments and let me know which DIY was your favorite. Which this time, even though I'm excited about the crafts, my favorite DIY might be the treat. I might be deciding that ahead of time. This is my 100% favorite DIY treat of all time. Before we get crafting, I want to share with you guys something that has been rocking my world this week. This meal service solved a problem for me that I did not even know that I had. At the end of a busy day of working, kids, family, responsibilities, I did not want to make one more decision. And you guys know, I don't mind being in the kitchen. I love cooking, but sometimes I'll get to dinner time and I'm like, I don't know, spaghetti. It's spaghetti for dinner. I think my kids are gonna turn it into meatballs at some point because that is my go-to, like, I'm tired, I don't wanna think about it meal. So enter EveryPlate. All I had to do was walk to my refrigerator and there were 3 delicious, gorgeous meals already ready for me. All the ingredients were portioned out. All I had to do was chop the veggies, roast things, throw them together, and out came this delicious meal. I was really skeptical at first because, you know, I like to pick my own produce. I don't usually trust anyone else to choose for me, but all the produce that came in this box was beautiful, delicious, bright, vibrant colors, and I was just super impressed. The best thing about this is, you guys know I love a good deal. And with the code that I'll have for you guys down in the description box, you can get up to 3 weeks worth of meals for only $2.99 a meal. You guys, I don't know the last time I went out to fast food burgers and got a satisfying meal for $2.99, let alone a meal full of veggies, meat, just deliciousness. Sorry, I'm still kind of dreaming of that roasted Tuscan style pizza that we had the other night. So good. So good. Guys, check out EveryPlate. With the code that you'll find down in the description box, it's super affordable and I think you'll be very happy. Okay guys, now it's time to craft. So we're going to start out making this ornament wreath, but I wanted to make mine into a snowman. So I grabbed multiple different sizes of ornaments from Dollar Tree. Make sure you get a large, medium, and small, and then mix it in with whatever different elements you want, like bells, snowflakes, whatever you'd like. Next, I'm going to grab my wreath forms. I already had this 18-inch form. I think I got it from Hobby Lobby last Christmas. I had a 14-inch and a 9-inch form, both from Dollar Tree. Now, I will say that mine was extremely big, and you don't have to use the sizes I did. You can make them smaller or bigger, depending on how dramatic you want your wreath to be. I am super extra when it comes to Christmas, so I wanted to make a huge statement. So we're going to start out by grabbing our largest ornaments and we're going to glue them onto the wreath form. Now I made sure on each ornament to put a good amount of glue at the base of that little metal part that holds it on, just to make sure they didn't come out of that metal part. And then I situated them between the 2 wires of the wreath form, as you can see here, making sure to get good contact and glue it to the bulb next to it. Now make sure you do glue each one to the bulb right next to it. That way your wreath is going to be so sturdy and it's not going to have much of a chance of anything falling off. I also added glue at the wire where it was touching when I could reach it with my glue gun, and at the end I did end up turning it over and adding more hot glue. I kind of had a feeling this was something I wanted to last for years to come, so I made it as secure as I possibly could. Now, I had a few different styles of bulbs that came in the package, so I just went around alternating between the gloss, the matte, the glitter, and I put an entire ring on the inside ring of the form. And once that was done, I went around and I did the outside ring. This did take a while, so pick your favorite movie on Hallmark for the Christmas movies, put it on and just start gluing. Also make sure you have extra glue sticks. Now after the inner and outer ring were done, next I went to my medium-sized bulbs and I placed those right in between the rows of the large bulbs. Now guys, this is beautiful as is if you just want to do one wreath of these instead of making it into a snowman. I've seen these sell for well over $100, especially for an 18-inch wreath form, and they're really easy to make. You just make an investment in time, settle down, get comfy, get some hot chocolate and start gluing, and you can have this beautiful wreath for a fraction of the cost. Now after I did that inner layer of medium-sized bulbs, I'm going to come back through with my small bulbs, and I also picked up these silver jingle bells. I thought that would be a nice little bit of color, or I should say different texture, to add throughout my wreath. So filling in the small holes everywhere where you could see the wire form, I just went through and added them in. And when it was all done, I had this beautiful wreath. You are going to have a lot of those little hot glue wispies, so take a little time to pick those off, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other two wreath forms. Now, once I had all three of my wreath forms covered, everything was so large I had to move to the living room to finish up this project. So what I did was I used zip ties to tie all three of these forms together. There was a lot of distance that needed to be traveled by the zip ties because of the bulbs in between each form. So I just grabbed two of them, put them together, and then I tied them around the forms. I did make sure to get into 3 and sometimes 4 spots, making sure to get on opposite sides of the bars, opposite sides of some of the bulbs, to make sure that this thing was very sturdy and that it wouldn't fall apart on me if I decided to put it on my front door, which does open and close a lot. I came back through with some hot glue like I mentioned before, because once I had it upside down, I figured I'd just give it another layer of security. I don't even know if I needed this, but you know, it made me feel better. I clipped off the ends of my zip ties and I did the same thing to the head. Now guys, I did learn a few things while I was making this. I just used the wreath forms that I had on hand, but if I were going out to specifically buy some forms for this, I think I would have gotten slightly larger than a 9-inch form, maybe only like a 10-inch or 11-inch form. I think that might have looked slightly better. And I also think because of the amount of bulbs that I used, you might want to try to find some in bulk. I ended up using 10 to 11 tubes of the large bulbs, about 5 or 6 of the medium size, and then 5 or 6 of the small, plus jingle bells that I already had at home. So that was a lot of tubes of bulbs, and I'm pretty sure you could find some at a discount. I'll look on Amazon, and if I do find some for you guys, I'll link that down in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Next, I grabbed one of these baby cloths that I got from the Dollar Tree. They were in the baby section, and I think they were blankets. I did get this a while ago, but you could really use any piece of fabric you have, or you could grab one of the scarves that they already have at Dollar Tree to tie around your snowman. So I just folded it up to make it into a sweet little scarf. Now, my husband and I had some deliberations over whether this guy needed a hat or not. I liked him without a hat, so I left it off. Let me know down in the comments. Do you agree with me that it looks a little classier without a hat, or should I go ahead and add a hat to the snowman? Next, I grabbed a holiday pick just to give it a little pop of color, And that was it. You guys, I am in love with this. I think it's gorgeous. At almost 4 feet, it makes a really big statement on my front door, and now I cannot wait for the winter to come when it's socially appropriate for me to put this thing on my door. You guys, I am in love. I am in love with this wreath. It is almost 4 feet tall. It is glittery. It is wintry. I can leave it up all the way through spring. My only complaint is the glitter. It was everywhere, but a small price to pay for this beauty of a Dollar Tree DIY. So up next is another cute little project that I really, really love. It's gonna look adorable around my house at Christmas time. So let's check it out. So for my next DIY, I imagined sort of a North Pole sign holder made with this Dollar Tree plunger and this bowl. The bowl came in a set of 2. I used the other one in a previous DIY, and so now I'm using this other one. I went ahead and drilled a hole into the bowl, and all that did was give me a starting point to try to cut a hole into the bowl. I went ahead and traced around where I needed my toilet bowl plunger stick to go. That just gave me an idea of how big I needed to make this hole. And then I went in with my X-Acto knife. Guys, please be careful when you do that. It did take a little elbow grease, but I was able to do it. Now I took my bowl off camera for about 5 seconds just to put the pole in to see if it would fit, and guys, it went in and would not come out. So this is super secure, but just be careful if you're like me. Once you get it in, the threads on the pole might make it difficult to get out. That's why this step was a little trickier, because it had the bowl stuck on the end, but I was able to take it and drill a hole into the pole about 1 inch down, and then very carefully a hole in the top. You can do this step prior to putting it in the bowl if you don't have a situation like I had. Now the hole in top needs to be large enough to fit one of these little mini ornaments, and the hole on the side needs to be large enough to fit one of these dowels from Dollar Tree. I also used 2 wood beads that I had on hand. You can use more mini Christmas tree ornaments if you want to do that instead. Now I very carefully drilled a hole a little bit bigger into my beads because I needed them to fit onto my dowel. You'll just have to play with which drill bit works for you. I did notice that it was different for each one because each side of the dowel was not exactly the same diameter. Next, I'm going to paint the toilet bowl plunger and the dowel white, and I decided to paint my wood beads red. Of course, you can use any color you'd like. If you want a little more bling in your life, you could even cover them with glitter. That would be really cute. Once everything was painted, I was ready to assemble everything. I used this tree skirt that I got from Dollar Tree. I cut it about in a third. I only left about a third on there after trimming it a few times. I wrapped it around my bowl and just used a few dabs of hot glue to hold everything into place. Next, I took my dowel and I put it through the hole that I had drilled. This did take a little elbow grease as well, but that's great because that means it held nice and secure without any glue. Then I pressed the wood beads with a little bit of hot glue on either side. Next, I got one of these adorable signs from Dollar Tree. I added a few more holes because I wanted it to hang from more than one point. That way it would look nice and stable on my pole. And one thing I will mention, guys, is you might have to play with how far in to put your dowel into your plunger stick to balance whatever you decide to put as your sign. Some of them are heavier, some of them are longer, so it just depends on what you put on there. Next, I just took a little bit of ribbon and placed it into the holes that I had drilled in my sign, making sure that if you use the same sign as me, that Santa hat is a little bit higher than the rest of the sign. So I made my loop for that one a bit smaller so that my sign would hang nice and evenly. Then I was ready to hang my sign right on the pole. And guys, I love that this is interchangeable. I could change this out to another sign anytime I wanted to throughout the winter season. I think I'll put one a little more wintry and a little less Christmassy after the Christmas holiday has passed. And I stuck my mini bulb right into the top. This fit right in without hot glue. I just screwed it in and it stayed so nicely. I love how this came out. I think it's adorable. I think it would be so cute to have like a monogram sign to put up, or even your kids' names. The possibilities are endless if you use your imagination. All right, guys. I cannot choose which one was my favorite today, but head down to the comments and let me know which one was your favorite. And for today's treat, this is my favorite DIY treat of all time. I made this last year just playing around and having fun for Thanksgiving, but when you see it, I think we'll all agree that this is a meal that I could have at any holiday, any time of the year. I don't even care. Maybe just a random Tuesday, I would be all into this. So it's time to eat.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho ho ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
Now that's my type of holiday dinner. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the DIY projects that I had for you today. Don't forget to head down to the comments and let me know which one was your favorite. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And please share this with your friends. And I'll see you next time when we repeat it all again.